Okay, for this last drawing, what you're going to do is you're going to copy your title block and border once again. So copy this one again with all the layout. This time when I copy it, I'm going to copy it from that corner. And I'm going to let you test out your tracking skills. I'm going to come down here and track it off of this corner, straight down to here, and off of this corner, straight over to there. There, notice I have the 2 dashed lines that appear, and I've tracked that over there, straight down, straight over from the other 2. So now it lines up perfectly here and to the side. Again, just a little practice of your tracking skills. Okay, so once again, we're going to erase out those inside parts, and we're just going to do something different to these outside portions. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use a line command, and we're going to put a line from the midpoint of the top of this block to the midpoint of the bottom. Make sure your O-snap's set to midpoint, and you're going to put a line from side to side, middle to middle. Or middle to perpendicular is what I'm getting there, and it's just fine. Okay. On those 2 lines where they cross, I'm going to draw a circle right there on that intersection or the midpoint. And I'm going to draw that circle with a diameter of 1. Now if your circle looks really large on there, not like mine, you missed it and you didn't hit D for diameter and change that to a diameter for that circle. I'm going to change that circle to an object line. Alright, now if you had this live, you would see me now hold up a roll of tape, and I'd show you how the whole of the tape, how you can see it when you look at the top of the tape, but when you rotate it down to the side, you can't see that hole. But yet, the sides of the hole are still there. So what that means is, when you have a hole, is you have to transfer down the sides of the hole to the other view. So let's do that. So the sides of the hole, I'm going to bring it straight down to here. Other side of the hole straight down to there. I'm going to go ahead and trim those off. I'm going to leave those layout lines up there. Then those 2 lines, those are now, you can't see them, so you're going to change those to hidden lines. And that's got that portion of it done. There's a front view and the top view kind of taken care of, for this part at least. But I still see those lines over there on the right side view. That hole still goes through that right side view. So once again, I'm going to take it, transfer it straight over to there, and straight down to there. And from there, straight over and straight down. You're going to go ahead and trim those 2 lines off. And once again, change those to layout lines. Or sorry, hidden lines. So there you go. All the while you're doing this, do make sure to include and to keep all of that layout in there. All these layout lines, I want to see all that. I think I said it on another video, but I'll say it again. If you don't have all that layout in there, when I go to grade this, I'm just going to give it a 0 and say redo it, follow the video, and make sure to leave your layout. I expect to have all that layout on there, and I want to see that layout. Kind of like sometimes in math class, you have to show your work. Here, I expect to see your work. All right. The next thing we have to do is anytime you show a circle, you have to have center lines that represent the center of the circle. So in this top view, I'm going to pick those 2 lines and change those to my center line layer. Okay. Now next, a little more tidbit about center lines. Center lines, when they're on an object, they only extend past the object they're showing the center of a little bit. They don't go right to the edge of it, they go to the outside of it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on my center line, grab the grip, and pull it back. Again, not to there, but you extend it past the outside of the object. The actual measurement they say for the standard is 1/4 of an inch. That all kind of measures on the scale you're drawing. So I'm just going to stick it out there a ways. And this one, approximately the same as the previous one, out to about there. Going to do the same thing on the vertical line. Pull that one up to about there. Again, trying to make it look approximately like the other 2. And that one down to about there. Now notice, when I did that, I got rid of my dashes. They no longer look like center lines. Well, what we have to do there is we have to use this fancy box over here called the Change Property box. If you don't have that box open and it's closed like it is there, remember you hit CH, enter, and it brings up your Change Property box. I'm going to go ahead and select those 2 lines. And the 4th thing down on this list says the line type scale. Anytime I change the line type scale, if I can't see what it looks like, I always first start with just cutting it in half. So I'm going to go to 0.5 from 1 and see what it looks like. And look at that, it makes it look really nice. The only thing that's not really nice about this is, notice how those the little cross is not centered. If I click on my circle, that shows the center of the circle, but the little crosses aren't there in the center of it. So what you have to do is this. Select that one individual line, grab that grip, and move it sideways to right there. Grab this individual line, grab that midpoint grip, and move it straight down to there. Now, those two things are perfectly in the center of the circle. I click here, and those are centered up nicely and has a little plus mark. The thing you got to be careful of is when you move those, you don't do something like this, and then have that showing the center of your circle. That is not the center of the circle. You want to make sure that they are there right in the center of the circle, and a good way to check that is just to click on the circle and make sure that little dot appears right there where those two lines cross. Okay, next, those center lines then have to also be shown in the other views. So to do that, we're going to take a line, attach it to the end of there, and bring it right down. Now, I'm not going to stop it here. I'm going to go ahead and just extend it on past, the way I mentioned before, because again, it has to extend past what it's showing the center of. So it doesn't end right there on it, it extends past. Here, I am going to trim it off, and then move this line up to about the same position in there. On this same step, just at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and change that to a center line, and that looks really good. That part's done. Now we have to do the same thing and get a center line over here in the right side view. To get the center line in the right side view, you're going to click on there on the end of the center line, transfer it over and straight down, and make it look approximately like the other one again. Trim it off, and then once again extend that line up past the outside. While I'm still selected there, I'm going to go ahead and change that to a center line, and there, that one is done. This drawing, that's all you do to it. Again, in the top view, you're showing the hole and your center lines. Front and right side views, you're showing the hidden lines where the hole goes through with the center line. This kind of way of drawing like that is handled, and that's it on that one. Go ahead and carry on with video 4, and that shows you a little bit how to finish up the title blocks and borders. All right, good luck.